with a single rule. Remember, we started by saying that to have better understanding of generative phonology, you need to import your understanding of generative grammar, which you did at the lower level. Generative grammar is trying to summarize many rules into few rules. Good. Now, generative phonologists did a similar thing. They came up with one general rule which they think should account for several changes that occur in sound realization. So why do you have changes in sound realization? So they now came up with a single rule. And the rule is formulaic, it's a formula. So it goes like this. X becomes Y in the environment where it appears before Z. All these are representatives of sound features. By X, they mean X will represent a particular feature of sound feature. Y will also represent a particular sound feature. Z will also represent a particular sound feature. That means a sound like X can change to another sound which will now be Y if this one is found in an environment where it appears or occurs before another sound which is represented by Z. This is the general rule. You understand? Let me give you an example. We all know this is a letter S and realizer. Right?
Yes.
This is, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
But we know that this is a plural morpheme, right?
Yes.
Normally used to indicate plurality. But when it comes to pronunciation, it has allomorphic variations. And what do you mean by allomorphic variations? You can have 3 variants of this sound. You understand? It can either be realized as s, or sometimes it be realized as z, and sometimes it be realized as z. Now, what is responsible for the changes? Why is it not always sounding as s? So the rule is now trying to tell us, for instance, that this sound will now be realized as another sound, any of these 3, if it is found in a certain position. That means the position where it is going to be realized as this will be different from the position where it will be realized as this. It will be different from the position where it will be realized as this. Do you still remember the function of this curly bracket? Curly bracket. How many types of bracket do you know? You only know bracket.
We know bracket.
Yes, there are different types of brackets.
And it has meaning.
You understand? At least you know that there are 3 types. At least. You have what is called circular bracket because it looks like circle, like this. You understand? Circular bracket or round bracket. Now, then you also have square brackets because it's looking like square. Then the third one is what we call curly brackets. It's like this. Now, each of these 3 brackets has its significance. You don't just use them anyhow. You don't use them anyhow. This circular bracket here indicates that whatever you find inside is optional. It's just parenthetical. That's why what normally called parenthesis in when you are teaching in mathematics, even in English, when you are teaching punctuation marks. When you say parenthesis, yes, it's from here, yes, like that. So it's parenthetical bracket like this. It means this is optional. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Meaning that it can be omitted. But for square bracket, when you use square bracket in writing, it means particularly when you are making a quotation. You understand? You are quoting somebody else, then you now open a bracket, you put this. This one indicates that what you put in the bracket is your own addition, is not from the source, the person you are quoting. You understand? You are quoting somebody, then you want to insert something which was not there in the original. The bracket you should use is square bracket. You are showing that this addition is mine, is not from the original. If it is from the original, you are supposed to leave it this way, circular bracket. Then this last one here is used to indicate that whatever you find inside, only one of them is applicable at a time. That means anytime you have curly bracket, you normally have a number of alternatives within. But the curly bracket is now to show that even though you have 3 alternatives here, only one of them is applicable at a time. That means when this one is applicable, the other 2 will not be applicable. That's when you use curly bracket. So this is an example. So when you have this, you are trying to show that in a particular context, only one of these will be applicable. And that is what the generative phonologists, they are trying to explain with this their general. This is just an example illustrating this rule. Remember I said it earlier that this rule is said to be a universal rule to address or explain any situation where a sound changes to another. It happens. It happens. It happens. Remember the other time I gave you something like this. This is what?
Sharp.
What is the last sound there? What's the last sound there? It is either this or this.
Sharp.
It's either it is this or this. Both sounds can be used. Why? Initially, the sound there is initially. But because of the environment where this sound finds itself, it finds itself at the final position. You understand? When you find this sound coming at the final position, it will lose its basic distinction from B. Remember when you plot your table, P and B, they are found in the same box of what do you call it? Bilabial plosive. They are both bilabial plosive, and we say one is voiceless, the other one is voiced. But beyond voiceless and beyond voicing, another major distinction between these two is that this first sound often has what we call aspiration. If it is followed by a vowel, it will have an aspiration, as in when you have PUT. So pot, there is an aspiration between P and O. But this B doesn't have aspiration any time whatsoever. It will not have. However, when you have this P at the final position, it is going to lose that feature. Yes, the feature of aspiration. And because it's losing the feature of aspiration, that will now make it to behave like this. That's why when you have shop, you can either be P or B.
If you use anyone
In your transcription, yes, it goes. It goes. So meaning yes.
But in pronunciation, if I pronounce with this sign, will not
Which one?
this sign. If I
Pronounce it. Let me hear.
Sharp.
Eh?
Sharp.
What? So are you actually pronouncing P or B?
Is
That's what you are saying.
but is it correct?
It's correct. That's what we are explaining with this rule. You cannot help it. It's correct. So the rule is trying to state that x, which is a sound, has changed to y, which is another sound. So pu has changed to b because it is found in a final position. That's what this is an example of what this rule is trying to explain. Are you with me?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So this is the general rule posited by the generative phonologist. X becomes Y in the environment. This slanting strokes here means in the environment. This dash here means it comes before. You understand? Or it comes at the final position. If you see something like this, it means it comes at the final position. If you see something like this, it means it comes at the initial position. Yes. So you have to take it because you are going to be seeing these notations as we move on.
Yes, sir.
Are you with me? No, I'm saying look at this. When you see this dash before, yes, before a symbol, it
Final
means it is
position.
coming at the final position. But if it appears this way, it means it is coming at the initial or first position. This is final position. This is initial or first position.
And that lines is in the environment.
Yes, this one means in the environment. This one means changes to, because every symbol has its interpretation.
Label it. We'll copy your
Every
notes.
symbol has its interpretation. And then when you have something like hash like this is what we call word boundary. You see hash like this is word boundary.